live. Oh
It's a
my
beautiful
God.
thing.
It is a beautiful thing. Thank you, everybody who is here on the Zoom call, as well as those who are on the Facebook Live. We are so excited that we're going to have this interview with one of our wonderful mentors. He's one of our recent ones, and I actually was introduced to him through some influencer group on
Yep.
Facebook. And so just that word right there, influencer, is just kind of a little hint as to who we're dealing with here. So let me tell you a little bit about Ben Baker. He is not only a mentor with Entrennial University, where we cultivate leaders in the world. He brands and tells engaging stories that compel their customers to take action as a consultant, a speaker, a teacher on brand, messaging, market, vision, and value. He is a member of the Global Experts community, has worked closely with Seth Godin as a coach. You don't know anything about Seth Godin? Do a quick Google search.
Yeah, that is 7,000 posts and going. The man is amazing.
Jeez, that is crazy. So Ben is also a mentor in the startup world, and he is also a mentor in the BCIT Student Association. He consults with large conglomerate companies in Canada, such as Alberta Health Services and Fraser Health. But the coolest part about Ben is he's got a big heart. He also does a lot of activities in the charity and fundraising world. Welcome, Ben, to Entrennial Talks.
You're sparing the love. I mean, I've never had such a long, bio to put on me. So I feel like I'm this important person or something.
You are, and there's so much to tell everybody about you. I'm so excited to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me on the show. It's a lot of fun being here. I mean, I love the fact that we're on Zoom and Facebook at the same time. I think that's really cool.
I'm doing my millennial multitasking here. It's quite.
You know what? I need millennials in my life to be able to do that for me. That's a beautiful thing.
Well, we're glad to help you. All right. Well, let's bring some meat to some of our Entrennials on here. Now, we have these businesses that we've created, and we've created some marketing. We created a logo. We created a mission and a statement of who we are. But what are some things that you're seeing out there in the world that people are just not hitting on the head when it comes to branding and how it helps their business?
Well, for me, branding is beyond the logo. All right. The logo is it's the Nike swoosh. It's the pretty picture behind me. I mean, all it is, it's a placeholder for you when you're not there. It helps to tell your story. What your brand is exactly that. It's the three legs of the stool that you stand on, what you really believe, who you are, what you do, why you do it, and frankly, why people care. You don't control your brand, your customers do. You can influence it, you can market, you can communicate, you can do the things that you do. But if nobody cares, then that's it. So it's a matter of being able to influence people in a positive way. It's a matter of being able to tell your story. The one thing I tell people is forget the vision statement, forget the mission statement, get a story. Nobody remembers the 6 words of your vision statement. Nobody remembers the 2 paragraphs of your mission statement. Find a story. Tell people who you are, what you do, why you do it, why you're passionate about what you do, why you love what you do, why you do it. Get beyond the what, get into the why. That whole Simon Sinek thing. And it's getting people to understand why you do what you do and how it benefits them. Because that's what marketing is all about. Marketing is about getting people to understand what you do and how it benefits them. Because if they get that, they're going to beat a path to your door. If you can help people, if you can solve problems that they already have, you've got them. And that's probably the best advice I can give to anybody.
That's excellent. And yeah, we've been really, in the business world, the why keeps popping up. Like, what is your purpose? That's part of a why. What is your business story and why are you in business? That's always like a big connection. And the why and the purpose is huge, especially in the millennial market. So I know a lot of our millennial entrepreneurs really connect with what you're saying. So do you have any examples of how we can create more of a why statement and telling that story to our ideal customer or client so that they will want to buy from us?
Well, take me for example. Yes, I have a marketing company. Yes, I help people tell stories, but it's why I help people tell stories. I want to help them be better at what they do. My mission and my goal is to help people engage with their audience, to be able to help them bring their audience to bear and get people to understand their value and why they should care about them. It's not about me, it's about my customers.
Hmm.
And when businesses stop thinking about how am I going to make money, when you stop thinking about how am I going to make money, and you start thinking about how am I going to take care of the people that are going to make me money, it's a shift. It's a shift. When you start thinking about the individuals and you start thinking about how you can help them and how you can make their lives better, the money comes. And that's where the real focus should be. And that's what I think that every business, doesn't matter if it's a millennial business or it's a 50 or 100-year-old business, when people stop focusing on their clients, when they stop focusing on the true value that they give to others, they've lost their purpose. And when you lose your purpose, you become a commodity. You're just, can you do the same thing as somebody else but cheaper?
Mm.
And then all of a sudden it's a race to the bottom. But when you can help people, when you can solve problems, when you can make people's lives easier, they'll pay those extra few bucks. They'll pay that extra 10%. They'll beat the path to your door because they know that doesn't matter what it is, you're going to take care of them. And that's what people want. People want someone that they can trust, somebody that can rely on, somebody that they know is going to listen to them, and somebody that's not going to put them in a box and try to solve their problem with a preconceived notion. They want somebody that's going to come to them and say, you know what? Let me find out about you first. Let me find out what your issues are first. And then let me figure out if I've got a problem that's going to fix that.
So what I heard there that was a big takeaway was that when you have that story and that why in there, you're really making a heart-to-heart connection with your clients and your customers to where they build that trust with you almost instantaneously because they relate to the story. I mean, all speakers, that's like speaker 101. Like if you're on stage, you tell a story because people can relate to stories and to experiences and those feelings. And that's how you communicate it, is really through that why. So that's awesome, Ben. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Now, before we got onto this call, you were talking about how you have a story about how you had to rebrand your business. So a lot of people are listening here are probably like, well, I just went through branding and now it's not selling. So now I need to rebrand my business. But Ben, you did that. So tell us what happened and what changed to where you were able to focus on your why.
Okay, so let's go back 10, 11 years. And 10, 11 years ago, I had a partner. I had 30 staff. I had 5,000 square feet of warehouse. I had about $250,000 a month nut that we had to, cover before we started making money. And we were making money. And everybody and everyone was driving me crazy within the office, including my partner. And January 1st, 2008, I walked into my client's office. That was probably the third. And I walked in, I dropped his keys on his table, and I said, you know what, I'm done. And I walked out the door. And what he didn't know is I had already branded my own company. And I had already made the decision. I was walking out. I burned my bridges. It was the best thing I ever did. I love what I do. I just didn't like the people I was doing it with. And went out on my own. And you know what? The majority of my clients followed me. And that was a real great gratification. That was all about the trust and the relationships I had. But we called the company at the time CMYK Solutions. Now, CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. The four colors of printing. Because for the last 10 years before that, I had done a lot of print brokering and a lot of direct mail and a lot of printing. And, a lot of the business that I had was tied to physical printed material. And with that name, I thought, okay, with these four colors, anything is possible. And that was, that was the motto I went with. And for my current customers, it was great. They took to the name, they liked it, it went on. But I realized as all of a sudden Facebook becomes a reality and Twitter becomes a reality and LinkedIn becomes a reality and social media becomes social media, all of a sudden people go, oh, CMYK Solutions, you're a printer. Well, no, we're a print strategist. what we are is we're a marketing and brand strategist. Well, no, you're a printer because your name's CMYK Solutions. And I fought it for years. For 4 or 5 years, I fought it. Sitting there, I know my customers like this. It's a good name. People just aren't getting it. And then one day I woke up and said, you know what? Why am I fighting this? I made a mistake. I had spent thousands of dollars to brand myself this way. I put a lot of sweat equity into this. I built up social media channels. I built up a website. I built up all these things. But I realized it wasn't getting me the new type of clients I was looking for. Like, I couldn't tell the story I wanted because everybody thought of me as a printer because of the name. So back to the drawing board I went, and Your Brand Marketing was born. And the reason Your Brand Marketing became Your Brand Marketing is because it's about my customers. It's not about me. It's not about my awards. It's not about glory or any of that kind of stuff. It's about, how do I tell my client's story? And if you look behind me, my logo is right behind me. It's two people talking is what the logo is. And it's all about the conversation. It's all about, how do you communicate and how do you make that one-to-one relationship between people and help them be better at what they do. And Your Brand Marketing was I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, we started Your Brand Marketing. And it's been very successful because it has allowed me to go out and tell a great new story. And it's allowed me to go after the clients I want because the brand is relevant. Mm. And if I stuck with CMYK Solutions, I wouldn't be here and we wouldn't be talking.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. And it's so true. Like how you're talking about, just about everything is a representation of your brand.
Yeah.
The title of your brand, what's your story, like what's in the background for you, and just the iconography of the logo, right? It all starts from the imagery, but then it goes down to the messaging and what do you say and how do you have that conversation and what's the feeling you get with that company. I know that a lot of people on here, they may prefer Walmart over Target. Two completely different companies, two completely different messages when you just look at the logos and even walk through the door, right?
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. So it all depends on who do you want to serve and how do you want to cater to that person on how you serve. So let's talk about that. So is there like any tips that you would have for some people here who maybe have, I know Danny's on here, she's watching and on our
Hey,
Facebook
Danny.
Live. Hey, Danny. She's in our Entrennial University. She's one of our Entrennials. You'll see her on one of the hot seats that will be coming up. Really
Very
excited
cool
about that. And she has a wine app. And I know that she's still going through some, branding and marketing before that launches. And so what are some tips that maybe we can give our audience, including, Danny, on how do we choose the imagery? How do we choose the title even of our company?
Before you start with the imagery, you need to know the story. Mm-hmm. The first thing I always tell people is, and we spend a lot of time digging in with our clients about this, who are you? What do you do? And who do you do it for? The key word is, who is your audience? And Seth Godin has something that says is, people like us do things like this. And it's building a tribe. And you have to figure out who your tribe is because you can't sell to everybody. Coca-Cola doesn't sell to everybody. Visa doesn't sell to everybody. Pepsi doesn't sell to everybody. Dove doesn't sell to everybody. They sell to a niche audience. They realize that there are certain people that are their clients and certain people that aren't. And if you spend all your time trying to market to the people that aren't, you're pushing string uphill. And it's not time and energy well spent. So the thing is to focus on, what do I do? Who do I do it for? And why do they care? And the name comes out of that. The name usually comes out of that. It's understanding, what is my purpose? What is my vision? What is my why? And when you do that, you have a really good idea of what the name is. And what we do is we go through that process first. That leads to a naming. And the naming usually comes into the icon. So the icon, the logo, is usually the very last thing that I do in terms of a branding exercise, because that can change. A logo can change. You can be the same company for 50 years and your logo can change 6 times. Your brand is still the same, but your image, the logo that supports that, can change with it, and you can have a lot of fun with it. But your brand remains the same, because that's the constant story that you want to tell. So
I think
when
that's
you,
a great point, Ben, is
yeah,
that, the imagery and the brand are different. They help each
yes,
other, but they are different. That's awesome. I
yeah,
just wanted to point that out for everybody if you missed it. All right, continue, Ben. Sorry.
no, it's right. I mean, I look at things like, we do a lot of promotional marketing, and you put logos on things, and if that logo on whatever the item it is isn't of value to the person you're giving it to, it's useless. But if you give somebody to something and they all of a sudden take a look at that thing and it reminds them of you and your value, then you've done your job. And your logo is the same thing. Your logo has to remind people of who you are, what you do, and why you do it, and give them impetus to be able to move on. I mean, it's amazing. If you look at 6-year-old kids, they supposedly can recognize 800 or 1,000 logos. 800 or 1,000 logos. They may not know what the company does. They don't know who they do it for. They don't know, what the mission statement or the vision statement is of the company, but they can recognize the logo.
Mm.
I mean, a 3-year-old kid knows the Golden Arches, because he wants mom to get him that little Happy Meal. And it's that feeling. It's the feeling that the logo provides. But all the logo does is it reminds them of the feeling that you provide them.
Mm.
It's up to you as a brand to make people feel special. And if you can't make people feel special, and if you can't make them feel that they're being taken care of and that they can trust you, it doesn't matter what the logo looks like. So that's the first trait. Sorry, I have something's printing here, and I don't know
Oh,
why.
it's all good. I was like, I'm not sure if there's like a robbery going on. I'm hearing some
No,
wrestling in the background.
for some reason I got some type of a printing going on, and I don't know why that's happening. I got a
It's
ghost
okay. You're
printer.
busy. It's all
That's the
good.
beautiful thing about having kids. The printer, all of a sudden the printer just shows up and you don't know why.
It's all good. I got 2 fur babies and they love speaking their mind when I'm on a phone call or I'm on the video
Absolutely.
call. Why not,
Abs-
right? Hey, it's all good.
Absolutely.
We're all hustling. It's all good.
Exactly.
That's
So all
great.
of a sudden, I don't know, when these ghost printing happen, you realize that somebody's printed something in the house.
It's all good. Awesome. So yeah, let's get back to like the spirit of the company or the brand really that you're creating
Yeah.
and the imagery that comes behind it. You really made a great point. Imagery and branding are different.
Yeah.
And you also kind of talked about how the imagery is really speaking the feeling. You made the example of, a mom brings their kid a Happy Meal and it has the golden arches on it. And he represents golden arches with happiness and the Happy Meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how are we able to really make that feeling come across to our customers? For example, for those of you who are watching, I don't know if you've seen my logo for Entrennial University. I'm the founder of Entrennial University, helping Entrennials who are millennial entrepreneurs
Yes.
to find success and be a world leader today with the support in the community and the mentorship that we provide for you. And I created the logo around the message and the feeling we're bringing all these Entrennials with the honeycomb, because
Right.
we are a hive. We are a very, we like to collaborate, and that's really what a hive does is they help each other, they collaborate, they make honey together, but then they can go off on their own and come back to the hive.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I created the honeycomb as the imagery. So, for those of you who are listening, we would love to have any questions you may have. I'll
Absolutely.
definitely it to Ben and we'll get those answers for you. If you are like, I have a branding idea, but I'm not sure how to navigate it, put it in the questions and we will get that answered for you.
You bet.
So, Ben, tell me, when it comes to attracting the customers, let's say you get a brand
Yes.
and it's solid, you get the imagery and it's solid. Now it comes to, content and it comes to conversations. So tell us a little bit of that piece of the brand and how can we make attraction into sales?
It's all about consistency. It's creating consistent content out there that speaks to your vision and values. It's about a story. Having a story about who you are, what you do, and why you do it is critical to bring other people on board. Because if people don't understand your brand and don't understand what you're about and why they should care, they won't. So that story is a key thing. And it doesn't matter if you're, creating Instagram stories, or you're on LinkedIn, or you're on Facebook, or you're printing material, or, at a trade show or whatever. You have a story of who you are as a company. These are the things I believe in. This is where I came from. This is where I am. And this is where I'm going. And the more you can be solid with that and understand that story and believe that story and have that story internalized, so you can tell that story at any given time to any given person, the more chance you have that other people will pick up on that story and tell it to other people. I met this woman, Anastasia. She is a bundle of energy. She's incredible. She's got this thing called Entrennial University. What she's done is she's got mentors from all over the world. And these are high-powered people that, people could spend thousands and thousands of dollars to hear speak, but you know what? She's got these people coming in for free, and what they allow to do is for mentees to be able to have people that have years of experience, to be able to have someone that they can come to and ask these questions that they have and get real answers in real time. And there's real value to that. You should really get involved in Entrennial University. As a mentor, I love being a mentor. You should be one too. And it's being able to tell those type of stories that build the passion and build the excitement and allow other people to get excited about what you do. And they turn around and tell that story for you. And that's the trick, and that's the beauty of marketing. It's not how much money you can spend. It's not being number one in the Google search. It's not, all those things. It's getting people to believe what you believe because they find it resonates with them. You need your story to resonate with people. And that's what I mean. Not everybody's going to be your audience. Take care of the people that get who you are and what you do, and believe that you can help them. Those are your champions, and those are the people that are going to tell your story for you.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad I recorded this, because that was amazing, Ben. Thank you for the shout out to Entrennial University.
There you go.
It was great.
We'll edit that down. It'll be beautiful.
Right. I'm like, can I just have that on a loop and send it out there? It'd be great.
No problem.
If we could, because I have a lot of people that I know that are in Entrennial University, and some people that have hopped on. I think they hopped off, but they're probably going to hop on again.
Okay.
Have retail spaces. So, the service industry is different from product industry.
Very.
And we just want to make sure that people, oh, but I'm selling a product. Oh, but I'm selling a service.
Yeah.
How can we craft or get people to change their mindset to really understand that you are creating a brand and a story for people to participate in your business, whether that's product or service? So what are some things that you're finding with maybe clients you have worked with in either industry where the mind shift needs to happen? What mindset needs to shift in order for them to find success in this?
People have to get out of the mindset that they sell stuff. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you sell hammers, nails, shoe polish, or, haircuts. You don't sell stuff. You solve problems. Whoever you are, whatever you do, you're solving a problem for someone. Somebody needs that Coca-Cola right there, right then, because they're thirsty or they're down on energy and they need something, and you can help them solve that problem. And when you can look at your business that way, if you look at this, sit there and say, what are the problems that I solve for people, and be able to tell that story and enable people to believe that you are unique, that you are different, that you have a unique and different offering than somebody else that might be just around the corner who also sells Coca-Cola. You know what? That's where you're going to have, that's where the special things go. As I said, you're not going to get everybody. Not everybody's going to be your client, but the ones that are, the people that get what you do, the ones that do what you do and realize that you're special, that you solve their problems, those are the people that you're going to do better. And it doesn't really matter what you do, because you make people feel special. The people that you go to the person who's your hairdresser. I go to the guy who's my barber because not only do I like the way they cut my hair, but I like the feeling I get when I go in there. I go to an old-fashioned barber shop.
Nice.
It's 98% guys, and we sit around and we shoot. Can I say shoot the shit? Why not? We'll say shoot the shit, and we laugh and we joke and we tell stories, and and it's fun. And my haircut costs me $25, and I probably could get the same thing done for $12. But I like the atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the ambiance, and I love the other people that are in there, and it's the experience. And the more that we can understand that people want experience and not just things, the better chance we have of getting them to come to our location and buying things from us because we give them a better experience.
You make a really good point. Experience is really the core of any clientele. And, one big brand out there that I know everybody would be able to resonate with is Disney.
Yes.
Disney is where magic happens.
One of my favorite bands. One of my absolute favorite bands.
Right?
I am a Disney kid at heart. Yes.
Absolutely. So it's where magic happens, no matter if it's on film, in person, at a park, no matter what happens, they always make sure that the experience of every guest, of every viewer is magical. So, they even go to the extreme. My friend Krista Berry, she did a wonderful training and an event with this gal who came in from Disney, and she worked with them on some of their catering and food menus. Now, Disney's huge, especially in Disney World over in Florida. They have millions and millions and millions of visitors or guests every year. And, there's a family that comes in that has super special needs in terms of what they can eat and what they cannot eat. And we're talking very strict. And what Disney will do, if they call them up and they say, hey, Disney, here's my restrictions, Disney will give the best advice, customer service. They will cater the meals for this family to make sure that they have the best customer experience possible, so that their entire experience of Disney World is magical. So, how can we bring magic to our clients and build more of an experience through our storytelling? I mean, Disney's all about storytelling. Why can't you tell a story, right?
Exactly.
I wouldn't mind being a princess for a day. So I know
you can be a princess every day.
I can be a princess every day.
You can be a princess every day.
Or a princess.
It's interesting when you talk about Disney. It's the little things that Disney does that most people don't even notice. But if they didn't do them, you certainly would. Disney has figured out that the longest you're willing to walk and put something into the garbage can is 33 steps. They figured it out. So there's garbage cans are no further than 30 steps apart. Anywhere in the site, you go anywhere in Disney World, there will be, or Disneyland, there will be a garbage can within 30 steps of wherever you are.
Which is amazing.
And they figured that out. In Disney World, they have lightning rods everywhere.
Right,
You won't notice them. But you know what? Florida is famous for their lightning storms. And there might not even be a cloud in the sky, but you might get lightning. And they've gone through everywhere to make sure that there's lightning rods everywhere on this, behind the scenes that you'll never see, to make sure that their guests are taken care of. And there's 100 little stories like that. And it's understanding, how do you come up with those little, minute little details for your company that make that difference, that people will sit there and say, wow, that's kind of cool. What are the little things that people would miss if you didn't do them? There's Kimpton Inn. They have they have goldfish in their rooms. Yeah. If you're lonely, Kimpton Inn will bring a goldfish to your room.
That's great.
And it's the craziest little thing. But you can have your own pet goldfish for the night. If you stay at a Kimpton Inn, and there's people that, only stay at Kimpton Inns because of those little things that they do. I go to Hampton. When I walk in, I get cookies. They have fresh baked cookies sitting there waiting for me. I've got the choice. When I travel, I've got 50 different hotels I can go to. But there's certain hotels that I'm loyal to because they do the little things that make the difference. And if they're $5 more, $10 more, $15 more, I don't care. Because I know whenever I go in, I'm going to get consistent service. I know I'm going to be called by name. If there's a problem, they'll take care of it. And it's building up those levels of trust with your customers that allow you to have those little oops and mistakes because they know you'll take care of it in the end.
Absolutely. And this is a lot of language and storytelling behind just paying attention to your target audience, your customers and your clients. It's like we have so many companies that just don't check in on a regular basis. And, some examples out there, or at all, and some examples out there of companies who have become irrelevant because they did not stay in tune with what their customers wanted were Kodak and Blockbuster. And you get the idea. All these companies that were these huge conglomerates broke down and are no longer in business because they weren't paying attention to the customer. So let's ask you, Ben, you're the expert in this. How can we continually check in with our customers? Obviously conversations, but what are some tips that you could give us to really tune in and be able to hear the key words that they're saying that they want from you?
I'm a big believer if I walk into my customer's office and I say, what am I doing right and what am I doing wrong? Is there something we could do better? And I do this on a regular basis. It's little things like that. It's just saying, you know what? I'm not perfect. Are there things that I'm doing that are there services that you'd like to see us have that we don't? Is there something that we're doing that we could do better? And it's being humble enough to ask the question, and it's being humble enough to sit there and listen when somebody gives you critical advice. Here comes the printer again.
It's okay. It's the next coloring book coming out. It's
That's
all
right.
good.
Well, it's the color printer, so it's a good thing. At least it's not too loud. So I apologize about that.
You're fine. I can barely hear it. It's all good.
Oh, that's good. It's for me, it's right in my ear, so I have no idea. But when you actually take the time to listen to your customers, and you actually, whether it's listening to on the social media, whether it's engaging with your customers in social media, when it's picking up the phone and talking to them and listening to them. I mean, how many people actually sit there and listen to their social media? We all blast stuff out, but how many people actually go back and read the comments and respond to the comments? And take a look and sit there and say, oh, this person actually had a negative comment. Let's engage with them and say, why did you think that way? Let's, instead of just sitting there going, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Let's find out. Maybe they had a really bad experience with one of your locations in Timbuktu or wherever, and all of a sudden they're talking about it online. They're angry, and they're probably angry because they were ignored. People who are ignored get angry. Perfect example. I was traveling about a week and a half ago, and we had dinner, and we're sitting in the restaurant, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting to pay. And all of a sudden I look over, and the waiter's sitting there in the corner talking to three of his friends for the next 10 minutes. Doesn't look up. Doesn't look over, doesn't do anything, to the point where I end up standing up, going and tapping him on the shoulder and said, is the meal free or are you actually going to send us the bill? And he got no tip. And I talked to his manager the next night. And she did whatever she could to make my life better. And she listened, and she apologized, and she did what she could to make things better. And sometimes it's just sitting there going, somebody's angry. Just let them talk. Just let them talk. Let them vent. And don't make excuses, and don't come back. Just say, and make sure they're done. And then sum up and say, is this why you're angry? Now let's say, okay, how can we fix this together? And that's what customers want. They want to be listened to. They want to be understood. And they want to know that somebody cares.
So we have a question, and for some reason it says my name, Anastasia Button. So I think this might be my friend Danielle, the one who has the app.
Yeah.
She's wondering, how can you communicate all this, especially get the feedback from your audience when it is an app? Hey, Danielle. Yes, it is Danielle.
Yeah.
How
Throw a
can you
poll
tell
in
them
there.
when it is an app?
Throw a poll feature in the app.
Mm-hmm.
How are we doing? You've or get get permission for every once in a while. Say every 50 times or every 100 times somebody opens up their app, all of a sudden 3 questions come up. How are we doing? Positive, negative. Could we do anything better? Yes, no. And then maybe a line that say what could we what are some challenges you're having? Whatever. Don't ask people 50 questions because nobody's going to answer 50 questions. Nobody wants to. Nobody cares. But if you ask them 2 or 3 simple questions and you have it built into the app, it starts off, we care, we want to know. And you actually take that advice and you listen to your customers and you let people know about revisions that are coming up based on the feedback that they're getting. They're going to tell everybody because nobody else is doing it.
Right. Yeah. So Danielle, I hope that answers your question. If you need any kind of extra feedback, just raise your hand and we'll definitely answer that for you. Thank you, Danielle. Really appreciate it. And
good question.
That was an awesome answer. Yeah.
There we go.
Sometimes I think we forget that there are awesome tools out there that we can use, like polls and surveys and things like that. When I have created even my application process to get into Entrennial University, those Entrennials who wish to be members, we say, yes, you can be a member. Here's an application. And in the application, we even ask questions. What are they looking for? What are they wanting? What do they not want? What are they really focused on right now? Because we want to make sure that we serve them best, especially in the hot seats and in the brainstorming sessions and content we put out there, right? So use those tools. There's awesome tools out there like Typeform for if you want to create a poll or if you want to create a survey. And Facebook is a wonderful platform to do that too. If you have a Facebook group for all your customers, that's a great place to put a poll out there.
Exactly. And be active. If you create a Facebook group, be active in it. Be active in the group and sit there and chime in every once in a while and ask people questions and call people out you haven't seen for a while, and get people involved in it, and post questions that you really want answers to, and thank people when they actually answer them. Don't just hit the like button. That's my biggest pet peeve in the world, is that people don't say thank you, people don't respond, people don't get engaged. They just hit the like or the love button. To do it once is okay, but to do it on a regular basis within a conversation seems really one-sided. People want to know why you liked what they said.
Yeah. And it really comes down to your customer just wants to be involved.
Yeah.
Today we don't have a passive market anymore. That might have worked in the past, but today we really want to be more involved with purchases that we're doing, or especially programs that are involved in. Like Entrennial University is a program, so a lot of people think, oh, it's just an app. No, it's actually a 12-month program. So that's something in branding I need to change. But so I'm learning a lot here too.
It's another 12-step program. It's not that 12-step program. It's another 12-step program.
I love it. That's so good. Okay, that's what I'm going with. So, and just making those tweaks really helps. But, when you ask for feedback, people want to usually participate. They want to be included. They want to know that they're valued. And that's a big thing. You're asking for their feedback. That means you care. That means that they want to provide value. Somebody said this to me once, and I'm having a hard time remembering who said it. But, it was one of those that people are cool with being on board with something that's developed.
Yeah.
But people really want to be involved when something is up and coming. So even though you are, wanting to rebrand, or you're just getting started, or you want to keep pushing forward, people want to be involved with your progress. They want to be the ones saying, I was there in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And so, as your brand is developing, as your imagery is developing, as your programs and your services and products are developing, get people engaged, ask for their feedback, take Ben's advice, do a poll, do a survey. So if you guys are liking this, I saw a lot of likes and hearts on the Facebook Live. We're glad to value this. Yay. Isn't Ben awesome? He's great. Love him to death.
So it's funny. I got something just when I was rebranding my company, talking about keeping people engaged, I created a 12 blog post series on branding step by step.
Ooh.
And I kept people engaged by saying, okay, and next week we're going to be talking about, next week we're going to be talking about, and next week we're going to be talking about. And the last step was, oh, by the way, everybody, it's my brand we've been talking about, and this is it, and this is what we've done. And then actually, if you go up on my website, you can download, it's called Define Your Story, Branding Step by Step. So if you go to www.yourbrandmarketing.com for free, there it is. You can download for free a copy of Define Your Story, Branding Step by Step, and it's literally the thought process that I go through when I'm rebranding customers.
Well, thank you for that resource. Everybody, it's in the chat. It's also in the Facebook Live chat, and it will be in the emails after this with the recording. Man, Ben, this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being part of this, and really honored to have you as a mentor in our community and our 12-step program. And
Entrennial Talks. We're on Entrennial Talks now, so we're branding everything.
And I just thought of that last week. I was like, what am I calling this show? It can't just be Entrennial University necessarily. Entrennial Talks. How can we develop a business to be better and faster and create more impact? So what is something that you have for us? Because I know you got a sneaky surprise for everybody here. Because not only are you a mentor on Entrennial University, for those who are involved, I'm also going to put the application into the chat. So if you are open to checking out how you can get more guidance from Ben in the app and other mentors, you can do that there. But Ben has a special surprise as well, a free thing that you can all.
Well, there's two things.
Two things that you can get.
There's two things. The first thing is you and I are going live in Denver on May 17th. We're going to be doing a half-day workshop on May 17th, and Anastasia will get all the information out on this. But save your time, save the date. We're going to be doing a live workshop from 9 to 1, and it's all going to be on branding and storytelling. So we're gonna have a lot of fun on this, and all the information should be coming out in the next week and a half. So, keep your eyes open for this, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have about 50 or 75 people live, and then we're also going to do it. We're also going to do it on Zoom as well. So we're going to have people both live, and we're also going to have people on Zoom. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The number two thing I have, and this is we just launched it this week actually. It's called Sober Second Look, and what this is. It's for people in their marketing when they don't have a large marketing team, when they don't have a vice president of marketing, when they don't have a chief marketing officer, to someone that can sit there and say, after they've created something, to say, can you have a look at this? Is it on brand? Is it on message? Is the call to action clear? Is the strategy right? Am I putting this out in the right mediums? And what this is you pay for this on a quarterly basis, and you have unlimited access. So I'm going to look at this thing like a gym membership. Some people are going to use it a lot, and some people won't use it a lot. But you know what? It's one of these things that give you access to somebody with 20 plus years experience to be that sober second look at stuff before you go out. Now, there's two things that's going to go on with this. As an Entrennial University member, you automatically get a 10% discount.
Awesome.
So from now until the time immemorial, we're going to give you guys a 10% discount. So that's going to be an $800 a year discount on this particular program. But if you sign up before March 31st, I'm giving everybody who signs up between now and March 31st a 25% discount. And the reason for that is I'm looking for beta testers. I'm looking for the early adopters. I'm looking for people who are going to sit there and say, I like this, but I don't like this. I think that this is good, but I want this instead. And I'm looking to work out the kinks, and I'm looking to work out the bugs. And for anybody who's interested, I will give you guys, and it's going to be $1,500 a quarter. So for your first quarter, it's going to be $1,500, and after that, it's going to be $1,800. And then you pay on a quarterly basis. We can figure out a monthly payment if it's better for people. So we can do it either on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. but it allows you to have unlimited access. So if you've created something and you want somebody to have a sober second look at it before it goes out the door and before your customers see it, you have somebody who can look at it for you. So Anastasia's got all the information. She's going to send it out to everybody. But I'd love to have you guys on board, because I need beta testers right now.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ben. That is amazing, guys. Now, if you have been in business for a little bit, few days, few weeks, years, you know the value that Ben is bringing you here. He is getting you the expert critiques and the tweaks and refining what you have created to be ready to go to market without any of the misspellings, the embarrassments, the, oh my gosh, that's not what I was trying to say. I know I've said that a few times, so I know the value of this, guys. It's an amazing value, and Ben is an amazing resource, so definitely tap into his free offer. I will be sending that out to the emails, those who are on the Zoom. I will be sending that out to the link here on the Facebook Live, so be sure to look out for that. Really excited. Thank you so much, Ben. This is so cool.
And mentors and mentees.
Mentors and mentees alike. I know
everybody gets in on this.
I know everybody will appreciate that for sure, especially mentors. They're going to be like, I'm included. This is great. Thank you, Ben.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, this is wrapping up the amazing Ben Baker, one of our mentors in Entrennial University. This is Entrennial Talks. We really appreciate you being here, Ben. Thank you all for being on the lives. I'm going to tell you a little bit about next week, who we're going to be bringing on. It's another mentor of ours. Her name is Judy Hoberman. This girl is on fire. Much like Ben, oh my gosh, this is such a cool, we have such an amazing team of mentors. I'm so glad to have Ben and Judy. Next week, Judy will be on our show. She is a serial author. She's just got a new book coming out. Oh, so excited to tell you about that. But she's a TEDx speaker, president of Selling in a Skirt. That's right, ladies. She has created a suite of workshops, seminars, and coaching programs for 30 years of experience in sales. So if you're really having a hard time converting people in sales, you've got the brand figured out because you're working with Ben, but you're having a hard time with those conversations and really getting those sales down, Judy is the girl for you. She's won multiple awards and accomplished corporate training director and emphasis on project management. Oh my gosh, the awards just keep going. But she's also the radio show of Selling in a Skirt. So Google that. She is awesome. She's appeared on CNN, ABC, CBS, Good Morning Texas, and she has contributed to multiple publications, including People magazine. So what a person. We have such amazing mentors. Ben and Judy, thank you so much. I am so glad that everybody was on here. You'll be getting the freebies from Ben, and toodaloo. We'll see you next week on Entrennial Talks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.